Okay, please start your presentation, Malika.
Okay, sir. So, identifying a pattern is something that repeats or stay constant over time. In hydropower, the constant element is the use of flowing water as the main energy source. From wooden water wheels to modern turbines, the basic idea has always been water flows from higher to lower levels, and that motion is turned into power. So, the first pattern we have is wooden water wheels. So how we identify this pattern is they have in common, they are all made of wood. They are placed in the river, and the energy of water flows in is used for mechanical work, not electricity. Then in the 1800s we evolved, and the hydropower was used for hydroelectricity, like metal turbines and small dams. Natural water flow converted into electricity, turbine connected to generator, and then the last we have is industrial hydropower. That is, we now have large dams and advanced turbines, and hydropower became a part of national power grid. So the factors that created a new pattern was the new pattern emerged when the old way can't keep up with the demand. For example, rising demand for power, wooden water wheels were replaced by stronger metal turbines because they couldn't hold on longer. Then the need for more electricity for factories and city gave way to large dams from small turbines. Then last, the material and engineering advances from wood to iron, then steel, then concrete dams. So the driving factors are technology, limits, human needs, and available resources. To summarize this, identifying a pattern means spotting what stay constants in hydropower, that is the use of water's kinetic energy. This process shows how technology involves constant principle but changing solutions. That's it for my presentation.
Thank you very much, Malika. So we could learn about the. Please keep it on a little bit. Yeah, please keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Um, I think you have separate the pattern well. We can see like from the history of the water turbine until the one that we have nowadays. Um, Due to the human society is getting bigger and bigger, so having the facilities and knowledge and people who can manage and maintain them uh, are very important. And although there could be some issues rising up when we use the tools or during the maintenance, but I feel yeah, human have done impressive work on this uh, application. Yeah. Thank you, Malika.
Oh, thank you, Katan.
Okay, next will be เปียวค่ะ
Okay ค่ะ can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
โอเคค่ะ so when should I start?
Please start.
Okay. So good morning, Arjan and my classmate. I am Pu Puen Pyong from Chemical Engineering. Today, I'm going to share you about the pattern and irregularity of the biomass. So before I start, let me introduce some facts about the biomass. So basically, biomass energy is a kind of renewable energy derived from the living organism, like living organism matter such as like wood, crops, and then animal waste, agricultural waste. So, like to analyze the biomass energy evolution, we I divided into four generation. So the first generation is start from the early 2000. So it includes like edible crops like corn, sugarcane, and so from that we can process to get the biofuel. So however, although these edible crops stay useful for the biofuel, we have the consume so-called food waste fuel debate. So that's why it became like changing the pattern into the second generation, which contain like people start using the second generation biomass, which is the non-food biomass, such as like agricultural residue. So in that generation, they have the high production cost and then technological challenges for high conversion rate. So this pattern also changed into the third generation, which is pattern C. So here in the pattern C, so it start from the late 2000, and people start to invent the algae biomass, which can be cultivated all around the year. Also, this generation also have like high initial investment and research and development costs. So although like it is a new energy industry, but the investor are still like riskier to expand this industry because it has a high cost. And also like when compared with the long established fuel industry, this is still like in um developing stage. So they still have like risks to expand this technology. So so in from 2010 to now, the latest shift called fourth generation biomass. Like people focus on the genetic engineering, like DNA, uh, something like that. But this generation is stay under stay like emerging, so it hasn't fully emerged yet. So the current challenge is to transform this technology from the theory model to the commercial one. So this is the evolution of the biomass energy. So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate your presentation, and I can see that you really dig deep into the biomass technology and analyze the detail of the chain within the same pattern. What are the issues, and also what are the current technology that people research regarding the biomass. I really impressed by your presentation, and I'm glad that your classmate could listen to your presentation today as well. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you so much, Ajay.
Okay, welcome. Next will be New Wa Pin.
Yes, Ajahn.
Okay, please prepare and share your screen.
Yes. Ajahn, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, ค่ะ So, hi everyone. Today I want to share how my name is Wa, and today I want to share how hydropower has changed over time, and especially how pattern evolved when new filter came in. So, if we look back before 1800, the first pattern we see is the water wheel, and people use it mainly irrigation. It was simple, small, and always tied to the flow of the river. Over time, the design got better from wooden to like overshore wheel and later an early turbine. But then the industrial revolution came. So with the invention of turbine and the rising need for electricity, the water wheel were no longer enough. This created the shift from water wheel to hydroelectric dam. In the 1900 century, the pattern was all about big dam, dig or hover dam. These weren't just for the electricity, they also handled irrigation and flood control. So construction method improved too, moving from simple stone and sand then to concrete and massive rail infrastructure with turbine. However, over time, provincial mega dams were very expensive and to build and maintain, so they caused serious environmental and serious social damages. So this issue began the push look for the something different. That's why that pre-today pattern now we see run on river system, best storage plant and hybrid hydro solar projects. This one are smaller, more flexible and designed to work along with other renewable energy. This bit further here a climate change, sustainability goal and new digital technology that had managed energy more efficiently while protecting the environment. So overall, the way I see it is the pattern of using hydropower never disappear, but each time new factor break the old pattern and lead to a new one. That's how we went from water wheel to mega dam and now to the modern eco-friendly system. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Lungwa. And I saw you wrote about chain within the same pattern that
Yes.
from mega dam to smaller scale. I would
Yes.
like to ask your opinion, like you mentioned that it is environmental. I mean, from based on your experience and after you have read about this topic, what are the potential reasons that people start using smaller scale?
Sorry, Ajay.
Uh, what do you think are the reason that people tend to do the smaller scale one?
Uh, because of the dam are so expensive and big dam also
Mm,
expensive to construct and a lot of like
land,
environmental
land,
yeah
they need a
land
big land,
and
right?
yes, yes.
Mm,
That's why
mm,
people tend to use the smaller scale dam
mm,
like
โอเคค่ะ thank
run
you ค่ะ
over.
นึกว่า
Yes.
โอเค
Thank you, Ajahn.
ค่ะ let's see next will be tell Mayat no
Yeah,
Ooh,
Ajahn.
yeah please share your screen
Ajahn, can you see my screen?
yeah I can see your screen
Okay. So, good morning, Ajahn and my classmate. I am Daniela Wu, and I'm going to share about the evolution of solar technology from fire to smart device. And then I have prepared three patterns. And the first pattern go back to the BC around 1700. And at that time, sunlight was mainly used for fire and heat. And then people mainly focus on sunlight with lamps and mirrors to start fire or create heat. And within the same pattern, there are set improvements like using better lens material such as glass and crystal or bronze, and these allowed like better control over light direction. And the changes from pattern A to pattern B was influenced by the scientific revolution and the experiment with sunlight, and then also the technology innovation. And then the second pattern started in 1954, and then people used a solar panel to convert sunlight directly into the electricity. And at first, like these were experimented, but soon they became practical, especially in space technology and later in household power. And then the shift from pattern B to pattern C was driven by events such as like oil crisis and the growing demand for renewable energy and innovation in thin film technology. So the last pattern is started around 1917 to the present, and The last pattern is the integration of solar power with new technology, and that is become daily light electronic device. And this solar power is now used in portable device and rechargeable battery and even smart gadgets. So this shows the shift from the basic solar power tools to more advanced, compact, and flexible solar technology. So in summary, this slide shows a timeline from Asian fire making with sunlight to the invention of solar panel, and finally, today's solar power electronics. This is the end of my presentation, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Tail. Could you please move my photo away a little bit? Thank you. It is covers. I mean the you saw me, right? But
Yeah.
just move me. Yeah. Move me somewhere else. Okay. And then go to the table. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. Mm. Faces. Mm-hmm. Film technology. Let's see. Thank you for your presentation, first of all. And I like the way that you identify pattern based on the application. Okay. Because solar cell, there are many type of solar cell. If we just narrow down and focus on different type, then we could be headache as well. So you categorize by the application of it. Like for first of all, you use sunlight and then you use it for power and then our device. Okay. Um, I I wonder a little bit here, like you mentioned from large mirror to smaller lens for the first part. You mean to reflect the light, right? For example, if we wanted to heat something, then we use lens to condense. Am I correctly? Is it called
Yes,
condense?
yes, yes,
Yeah, condense the light. Is that what you mean
yes,
there?
yes.
Okay. Let's see. Mm, More advanced compact. Okay. And then your photo here is like a calculator, but on the right photo on the right, I'm not sure what is it. Uh, like
I
is it
don't know. It is.
uh maybe for agriculture or something like using solar panel, solar cell,
Yeah,
small solar cell.
more
Mm-hmm.
solar cell.
Okay. Okay. And then um improvement in thin film technology. Mm. The reason, or based on my experience here, I could explain a little bit more. Improve thin film technology could mean for solar cell in general, in your photo, it is a silicon based solar cell, the second pattern. But thin film, one of the benefit of it is that it doesn't need a silicon to be the substrate, and people develop thin film because it could be deposit, the chemical could be deposit on the substrate that could be clear or transparent, so that if they put it on the building, then they could see through the building. It's not just like dark. Um, or if we want silicon solar cell, we may put it on our roof where we don't have to look through it. Okay, that's one of the flexible about one of the benefit of thin film, and also the lightweight. That could be benefit of it. Just a little bit more information because you talk about the solar cell and solar panel, and I have a little bit more experience. So just share with our class here. Thank you, Ka Theo.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Let me see. Next will be who? กิตติพัฒน์ค่ะ
ได้ยินไหมครับ
ได้ยินค่ะ
อะไรนะฮะ
Okay, I can see your screen. Okay.
เริ่มเลยใช่ไหม
Yes, please.
I choose the water wheel because it has a long history with human. In Greek Roman Empire, the first water wheel emerges, which is used for mostly basic tasks like grinding wheat into flour. Next, in the medieval age, water wheel is more widely used and has various of use such as sawing woods, forging iron, and pumping water. This version of water wheel emerges from the better understanding of physics plus the need for higher amounts of kinetic energy. Lastly, water wheel has been vastly improved in the Industrial Revolution age. Now it is used for mostly generating electricity, and some are used in water treatment system. Industrial Revolution is the age that people need electricity, and water wheels are one of the many things that can be used to generate electricity. From the Industrial Revolution, materials can be harvested more, so the design of the water wheel can be improved even more จบแล้วครับมันสั้นไปไหม
Okay. Let's see. I I like the way you identify pattern and categorize them into three patterns. So first of all, you mentioned like the more simple one, the simple task. Okay. And then second one, human have more knowledge on using it, and we could like store water, and produce larger magnitude of energy generated from the water wheel. Uh, Forging iron. Yeah, this one I'm not very familiar with it a little bit. But huh?
อ๋อมันเอาไป
Forging
เอาไปทำให้
ท
มันหมุน มันไปหมุนแบบว่าอะไรไม่ไปหมุนแบบเป่าลมให้เกิดความร้อนมันขึ้นนะแบบนั้น
ำอาจจะอาจจะยังงงไม่เป็นไรอาจจะค่อยทีหลังหาเพิ่มก็ได้เนาะอืมตอนแรกนึกถึงว่าอุตสาหกรรมเหล็กอะเวลาเขาไปใช้ในอุตสาหกรรมเหล็กใช้ตีเหล็กหรือใช้อะไรอย่างเงี้ยบอกว่าเป็นการหมุนอืมหมุนเพื่อไปตีเหล็กอืมไม่อันนี้ไม่ใช่เตารีดอันนี้อืม อันนี้กังหันน้ำแต่ว่า so from the water flow it generate like mechanical energy and based on this mechanical energy human could like convert it to like banging on iron or something that would be my perspective about it. Okay, and you mentioned about uh produce electricity. Okay, water issue. Industrial evolution, it could be leading to the big dam as well. You remember the first student, hydropower, Malika, she mentioned about like the huge facilities of like the dam. So that apply into that application. Okay. Overall, I think you have summarized uh, the development of the water wheel well. Thank you ค่ะกิติพัฒน์ค่ะ next ปุ๊บปุ๊บปุ๊บกิตติวราค่ะ is กิตติวรา here yes
Hello
สวัสดีค่ะโอ้เราเป็นหนูเหรอไอคอนเรามันคือตัวอะไรแมว
หืม
หนู
แมวครับ
โอเคโอเค
You hear me well ใช่ไหมครับ
yes I
Eh,
can hear you well
okay. I will start. So, like, first of all, I'm gonna do it real quickly. So, nowadays, like, we saw a lot of electric car in like on the roads or everywhere. So now it's being famous now. So I'm pretty sure that y'all don't know like how it's becoming, like when it's start. So the electric cars start since like late 19th and early 20th century. So the first factory that built and create the electric car is cement. So they create like a small one with a unique style, and they use a full electric to power and generate like to power the motor. And we use that idea and then we developed to another one, which is a hybrid transition phase. So a hybrid mean they combine together. One is a ICE, which is called in Thai Sandap, and the electric. So we combine this one together, and then we got like a hybrid, a hybrid car. So, and the next step is nowadays we have like a plenty of electric car, which is like a BYD, Tesla model, whatever. So this one is a full electric with a modern style. So it's different from the first era of the electric car. The first one is a full electric, but with the old style. Is in like an old school style. But right now it's just like a modern style and more convenient. And the key that we change it because the government sees something in this industry. So like they come here and then they improve, they help the company to improve the whatever like a machine and a battery for more traffic in the market, something like that. And that's all.
ใช่ค่ะ Thank you ค่ะกิติวา Let
You're
me
welcome.
look at the detail a little bit here.
ครับ
Oh, you mentioned well, since late 19 to
ครับ
early 20, occasional pilot program. What does it mean?
Which one? Change with the same pattern. Occasional pilots program. So it's just like how can I say it? It just has mm, wait, I don't know how to like just say it in the word. So it's
ภา
been
ษา
like
ไทยก็
some
ได้
uh จริงๆผมลืมแล้วว่าอันนี้มันคืออะไรนะ
ไม่เป็นไร ไม่เป็นไร probably like I'm guessing, okay, I could be
ครับ
wrong, but I'm thinking maybe like they develop this like prototype phase and then they let people like just a small group of people to use it. It's not for like commercialized for everyone. It's not like that at that time. So I would say they probably let a few group of people to
เออ
driving it or something. So I,
เอ
I,
อ
I imagine it could be similar to that.
yeah
Okay.
it could be that one
Yeah.
sorry ครับ
Okay. No worry. Hybrid emerge. Okay.
yeah
And then full EV become viable. Mm, mm. Rapid iteration across market. Mm. I understand like iterate. It's like a loop, and then we need to like, for example, when I wanna find question for my research, iteration is will be like, okay, I start with learning about the field that I'm interested, and then I read about other people work in the field, and then I start finding the gap of the knowledge that still need and important. Then I start making objective of my study. Then I start study about it. Iteration is like sometimes when I study about it, oh, I couldn't study about it because of this, that, those. Then I have to go back to the gap knowledge that I have found, and then I need to study other objective like that. So it's turret is mean like the loop of, I would guess it would be the loop of improvement of the
I
EV
see
car. Like probably we have some issue, and then we need to improve it, and then we have a team to learn and develop it like that. Okay. Yeah, I just would like to elaborate for our class so that we could understand and learn about the chain of this pattern together. Okay. Thank you ค่ะกิติวราค่ะ
you're welcome ครับ
ครับ
ขอบคุณครับ thank you
ค
ค
รั
รั
บบ โอเค Let's next student will be who? Shaya Pon ค่ะ
ฮัลโหลครับได้ยินไหมครับ
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
โอเคครับงั้นผมแชร์เลยนะครับ
ได้ค่ะชยันพลอาจารย์อ่านผิดด้วยขออภัยนะ
That's
อื
okay
มครับ
ครับ So hello everyone my name is Chen Pol Leum Tham the pattern that I use is about solar panel where I categorize the pattern into three things according to the scalability of the solar panel. So the first one will be where the solar panel start to like they start to invent the solar panel at around 1960 where the first silicon solar cell are invented. At that time, the solar was expensive and mostly used in research projects. And the constant element that exhibit the common trait are the cost are always the barrier and that makes the usage number stay small. Next is around the 2000 the 20th century where the household business and countries start to install the solar panel in their roof. At this time, the price per watt continue to fall and the efficiency of the solar panel are improved and the public acceptance grew. So the change between the first era of solar panel to this time was the mass production of the solar panel and government support and the international agreement on supporting the clean energy. And the last was the 2020s to present where the solar became the mainstream of the clean energy. There are many solar farms in the world. In this time, solar output depends on daytime and weather and requiring balance with demand. So in this time, the solar panel have advanced in battery storage, making it popular in both household use and the industrial use. So the change between the pattern 2 and pattern 3 is the innovation in solar cell efficiency. There are various types of solar cells such as the monocrystalline, polycrystalline, and thin film that you mentioned earlier. And next is the climate policies about the clean energy. That's all. Thank you.
โอเคค่ะ thank you ค่ะชยันพล let me see so you focus on like solar cell okay you didn't comparing to Tel she if I remember correctly she start with like using the light source first and then but it's okay so when you narrow down to the only solar cell um you mentioned about the first pattern. In general, when you identify pattern, I would prefer the name to be like more concise. Here you mentioned solar was expensive. It's more like a sentence explaining solar cell at that time. So, in my opinion, it would be better, like for example, the beginning of photovoltaic solar cell, something like that instead. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. You mentioned about the cost. So that's why during development of solar cell, usually will be a researcher group from, let's say, like some company that they got funding, they have some funding to develop the solar cell. It during 1960, it might not be like commercialized like everywhere yet, right? So just group of people doing research and they develop the efficiency to improve the efficiency of the solar cell and the production. Okay. And you mentioned competition from fossil fuel in some region. This one this column is mean during year let's say year 1960 until before 2000. Is there any development of the solar cell during that time? Okay, so your note here is off from the class objective a little bit. So so let me see. Gradual cost reduction from technology. Okay, for the second pattern is better. So you mentioned that there is a cost reduction due to technology development and also could be mass production, okay, of the solar cell. Thus, they could sell at cheaper price, okay. Okay, advance in battery storage. For pattern 3, since we are talking about solar cell, but okay, I understand that you would like to mean during 2020 and until now, we have advancement in battery storage so that we could store the energy from solar cell, let's say more capacity for storing, instead of just using the light as it generates, and we could store it. Okay, so that's it, indirect way of explain the improvement of the system using solar cell energy. Okay. Okay. ค่ะ thank you ชยันพลค่ะ for your presentation ค่ะ
Thank you, teacher. I will stop share now.
ค่ะ next student could start prepare your presentation, but don't start yet. Okay, give me one moment here. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Give me one moment.
Okay.
Okay, please start ค่ะ Okay,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Today I will talk about patterns of electric vehicles and what factor creates a new pattern over time. So the first pattern that I identify is the early electric vehicles, which mostly use lead-acid battery and a single-use battery cell. So a single-use battery cell is that it can use only once and cannot be rechargeable. Yeah. And the change that they do is that they use for an electric taxi and use a battery materials that improve. So the during around 1839, it's the first electric car and it used a single-use battery cell which can be used once. But around 30 years later, they changed to a rechargeable batteries. And what creates a new pattern? So the first one is that consumer demand a practical and range. So during this era, the electric car can only drive around 50 kilometers, which the gasoline used car or the Ford Model T, which came out, has a dominant range, which lasts around 200 miles, makes the electric car fade away from the industry. And so around 70 years later, there is an oil crisis, and the pollution that comes out from using the petrol car, so that they want to make a new policy to reduce the greenhouse gas. And so they introduced the next one is the hybrid and early modern EVs, which combines a gasoline engine and electric motor together. During this era, the Toyota Prius, they use the new battery NIMH, which has a more reliable, longer lifespan, and it can go longer with the better battery efficiency. And they use regenerative braking, which can collect the energy back from braking and more electric control system. So during this era, there are also lithium ion battery, but they're still researching about it. So therefore, I classify the next generation as the modern electric vehicles, which use a fully electric using lithium ion batteries mostly. And so in this era, the lithium ion batteries has that higher energy density, and it can go up to like 400 or 600 kilometer per charge. And they got a new technology that integrated into the car. And that's all for my
Okay.
presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Darin. So it's a big picture of the evolution of the electric vehicle since like 18, and this one I look at the chain within the same pattern. For the first one, you mentioned there was a commercial use expand, electric taxi and bus. I'm not quite sure whether it was there since then.
Uh,
Have you checked
I,
whether before like 19th century that there was like bus electric one?
I didn't check, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Because when we find information, sometimes the information is gathered from everywhere, and the fact might be off
Okay.
from the history, the real one. Okay, but that's fine. Um, let's see. So overall, yeah, you have done the summary of the patterns of the development of the electric vehicle well. Um,
You.
I noticed when you read nickel, NIMH, it stands for nickel metal hydride, is one type of the battery that have been used in the Toyota electric
You.
car or
Yes.
hybrid. I would say hybrid. I'm not
Hybrid.
sure whether it's the full electric, probably hybrid. It's like the cell battery that we have like Panasonic or like it's similar to that, but they stack them in a big
Yeah.
box. Okay. Yeah. I have read about it a little bit, so that's why I noticed when you read it, and you might not familiar with it, so I just wanna explain to the class like of what it is. Okay.
Thank you.
โอเคค่ะ thank you ค่ะ Darin
ขอบคุณมากครับ
ครับ next will be พีรัตน์ค่ะ
ได้เห็นจอไหมครับ
เดี๋ยวนะแป๊บนึงนะพอดีอาจารย์ไปติ๊กชื่อให้อยู่ เห็นแล้วค่ะ มาแล้วค่ะ
โอเคครับ Can I start?
yes please
Okay, so hi everyone. Today I will talking about how light bulbs have changed over the time. So let's start in the late 1900s. The first pattern identified its incandescent bulb. This kind of bulb it's used the principle of let electric current heat a filament until it's glow, as you can see in the pictures. This kind of bulb require a filament inside to heat up and also a glass that will protect it from the oxidation. And this bulb can has only one color, which is warm color, like orange, because it's from heat. And they're trying to improve it by change the material of the filament to be like have a higher long lifespan, and they're trying to fill the gases in the bulb to like make the filaments live longer, and also trying to make some different shapes of the bulb. But the problem is this kind of bulb, it's about 90% of its energy was wasted as a heat, so it's extremely low efficiency. And during the electricity cost is it's raising, it's create economic pressures, and that's why it's changed it into another pattern I call fluorescent bulb. So it's around 1930 to present. This kind of bulb use different ways to light up. It's used a ballast to control the lights as a starter and something, and it use a mercury and vapor to create a glowing cloth inside the bulb. And it's trying to improve by creating the one that compact in the same bulb. As you can see in the live pictures, yes, it's include the starters or it's cobalt inside the bulb. And the problem of this one is as it's used a mercury to inside the bulb, it's kind of hazardous material and it's bad for environment. And we need a even high efficiency bulb. So that's why we'll come to the first pattern, the last pattern, which is LED. It's made it in how to say 2000, yeah, 2000 until now. This is LED. It stands for light emitting diodes. It's the semiconductor that emit light when the electricity pass through. And this pattern, it's don't need to use like gas or even though the filaments, it's also have like extremely long lifespan. It's up to 5,000 hours and it's very low heat comparing to two of the both pattern that I mentioned before. And this LED can adjust the color or even though the lights, and it can have a various shape of it. Maybe it's a line as you can see in the pictures. And nowadays this LED cost is dropping because economies scale it's larger, and also government to support the research of it. Yeah, that's all.
ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
ครับ
เอ่อทีรัตน์เนาะหรือทีรัตน์ใช่ไหม
ทีรุดครับทีรุด
ทีรุตขอบคุณค่ะโอเคก็ I think it's a great way of summarize the light bulb that we have in our history. I think we can see that human try to research on this topic on like okay how we could make it last longer. For example, when we change from incandescent to like the fluorescent bulb, and then we found some issue with it, right? Like the mercury disposal, the inside one, and how we gonna manage the waste of it. So human and companies have their research team to develop the light emitting diode bulb. And you mentioned that it is a solid state construction, so meaning that it used less of like fluid or liquid in the light bulb. Okay, and it can emit the light. And due to the mass production, it can be once they develop acceptable efficiency, then they do the mass production. So it could reduce the cost of the light bulb with this method. Okay. Thank you ค่ะธีรัตน์ค่ะ ธีรุต อืม นิพิษเนาะI delay for like approximately like 10 minutes. Okay, I have to apologize.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, please make it into a presentation mode. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. Today I will present about my patterns. So I choose the wind energy as my pattern. And what is I am identify the pattern is first. The first pattern is about the location, and the second pattern is about the technology, and the third pattern is about the government policy and tax credits. In the first patterns, the wind farm are always built in an area with stronger and consistent wind, and the change is about the development of the offshore wind technology, allowing the turbine to build in like the ocean or the Iceland instead of the higher mountain or the field only. And what is create the new pattern is some areas have the weak or electrically winds, making the turbine ineffective. So that will create the second patterns. In the second patterns, all the turbines work in the same principles, like the wind turn the blade and the rotor spin and generate the electricity. And the changes because of the larger turbine and longer blade or advanced aerodynamic blade design. So it's make the electricity has more efficient or variable speed. And the third pattern is the cost of the wind energy is decreased because of the technology or the government policies and tax credit. If you create it, you will receive the tax credits from the government. That's why the many country has the wind energy, such as China, USA, or Europe. And what create the new pattern is about the different turbine design and in onshore or offshore, and the produce different efficiency level and energy output. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanipit. I like your summary very much. Because not only you organize by the time, but also you identify pattern based on like specific topic, for example, location, and then the technology, and then the government support. I feel it organize it this way help us to understand the development of the windmill well. And it's also help us to see the change within the same pattern easier as well, actually. So I really appreciate it, Nipit. Thank you.
Thank you.
พัฒนินค่ะ
ครับ ขึ้นไหมฮะ
มาแล้วค่ะกำลังมาอยู่
เริ่มเลยนะฮะ
เริ่มได้เลยค่ะ
Okay. Today I will talk about the clean energy patterns, water power. There are three main states here. The first state is water wheel. People use it in 1800s. It used to flow the water to turn a wooden wheel and make power. At first, the wheels were small, but later they became bigger with different types like undershot and overshot. But the water wheel was not strong enough. In the Industrial Revolution, people need more energy. So when dynamo was invented, water power could change into electricity. So the pattern moved to the next stage. The 18th to 1900 centuries. Pattern B is Francis turbine pattern wheel ก็คือ like the Francis turbine pattern wheel in the yes, the turbine works faster and made energy more efficiently than the old wheels. The material also improved. Like first is the
cast iron, and then steel, and then aluminum. The valves were also curved to catch more waters. But turbines alone could not keep or control the water. Cities need more and more electricity, so people start building dams. So the last pattern is in 20th century. The hydroelectric dam. It starts with a small dams, then grow in a large dams with many turbines together. Automation systems were added, and dams were also used to other things like water storage and flood control. This happened because people need more stable, large-scale electricity, and engineering made dam construction possible. Thank you. Teacher.
โอเคค่ะ thank you ค่ะพัฒนิน okay give me one moment นะ sorry one moment okay so you separate into like the beginning of the water wheel and then the one that more advanced okay and then you separate into like the big dam okay I think you identify pattern in this way it helps us to see clearer picture of like the history of the dam and the water wheel and then using in the dam as well I think it's help us to understand it easier and you mentioned that could turbine alone could not store or regulate seasonal water flow um maybe this one you would like to mean that we need to store the energy as well or like to have the continuous flow of water that's why we need like the system of the hydroelectric dam okay okay overall start with small dam first and then develop okay ค่ะ overall is great summary of the pattern and irregularity ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับ
Before next student, Hong Siri, I need a short break, so give me one moment, but you could start share your screen ได้เลยค่ะ
Yeah. เห็น
Yes, I can see your
จอ
screen
ไหมครับ
ค่ะ
โอเคso we can start
please make it bigger yeah please make a presentation mode please
yeah โอเคครับ Okay. Can you see it, teacher?
Give me one moment yes I can see it ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
Okay ครับ so that's the pattern that I showed is about power generation. So for the first one is about 19th to 20th century. Most commonly it will use a coal burner like a coal power plant for energy generation. They use a burning a coal to generate a heat and boil a water to be a hot stream, and hot stream will push the dynamo to generate the power. So for this method, it will make a lot of CO2 and air pollution, greenhouse gas is about a major problem in this century is from coal burner. It's a make health problem, yeah, and it need a lot of storage to store the coal. It need a big fuel. For the next one is 20 to 21 century. It shift from the coal to petroleum and natural gas for cleaner, but it still produce CO2, but it's at least it's lower CO2 produced in this method, and it will use smaller fuel to storage the gas because it's a gas you can store in the tank, and it's more efficiency than the coal. And in the last one is 21 century to the future. The world focus is on green energy and sustainability. It make no CO2 and no greenhouse gas. It's use natural energy to make electricity, like a solar cell, windmill, and dam. Dam just use water. This method have a lot of increasing efficiency, renewable energy, and a lower cost for using a coal or gas. Yeah.
โอเค
So
ขอบคุณ
what is need to change? Okay ครับ So what need to change from the pattern A to B is reduce the CO2 and storage. And from the pattern B to C is we need to save our world so we don't make any CO2 and more green energy and sustainability ครับ That's all. Thank you.
Thank you ค่ะพงศิริ so your topic is like big one like you see the overall
Yeah.
power generation, okay, and it does help us to like see that we begin with generated energy from like burning coal, and then we got like heat energy and so on. Uh, but the constant element that you mentioned that it depends on fossil fuel, or because like when we burn coal, we still need like oil to burn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At
Yeah.
first, I confused a little bit, but now I understand. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
We need
Mm.
some a bit of fossil to burn the coal.
Mm,
Yes.
Okay. Overall, I think your pattern and irregularity is like well explanation, and we can see like big picture of how our world being developed regarding this issue. Only comment that I have is that the chain within the same pattern for this course, like we also focus on the development of the technology as well. But yeah, in this
ครับ
course you try to focus on like the environmental issue, which is not like wrong, but it's just like maybe with a little bit more explanation that could be
technology. Yeah.
yeah could be helpful as well. Yeah, just a
Yeah,
little
okay.
note here. Okay, but
โอเคครั
overall
บ
it's great. Thank you ค่ะ
Thank you ครับ
พัฒนันค่ะ
อืมอันนี้เห็นไหมครับ
เห็นแล้วค่ะ
Okay, so the pattern I choose is about hydropower, and so it's almost the same as the one my friend presented, but how I separate it is a little bit different. So the first pattern is like ancient era. I focus on how it is like powered or how does the device work. So I identified it as mechanically powered as the first ancient era because it's like only the water wheels and let the water like flow through, and they only use it for a mechanical purpose like graining something or mechanical work. And the second one is industrial era, which in this era electricity is invented, and these hydropower plants, they need coal and oil to power up the engines and turn the like water or something into electricity. Well, the last one, they still use a little bit of like fuel, but they also use solar energy and wind energy to help with the water pump to pump up the water from like lower reservoir to the higher one, and then let them fall back down. So what creates a new pattern? The factor here is, so the Industrial Revolution, after like the invention of the steam engine, the electricity usage is like increasing by a lot because obviously it is useful. That's why people trying to find like lower cost electricity, and that's where hydropower plants came into work. There are developments of like new materials. The dam cannot contain like a lot of water if it isn't strong enough for the pressure. So the Industrial Revolution have like maybe like strength alloys and like stainless steel. From the Industrial Revolution to the modern era, there were like environmental concerns, so they reduced oil and coal to use sun and wind energy. Also, there is a concept of fish-friendly turbine. So they use like these new computer simulations to create new turbine just to not like ruin the marine environment. Also, there are advancement of like electronic devices. They use computer and some advanced technology to design new water turbine and the engines and stuff, and like sensors. Also, the location of all this pattern is different, like from putting it just in the river to putting it in maybe a smaller dam, and then the modern era is like a massive or like larger dam. There is actually a specific name for water turbine in the last two era, like the industrial and the modern era, is Pelton wheel and Francis turbine, but my friend said it already, so yeah. Thank you.
Thank you ค่ะ Patanan. So we can see the development of the water turbine, and I have seen that you mentioned about fish-friendly design. It is a great idea, but I just have a difficulty to understand of how they do it as well. Yeah, probably can be for me to lead later on. Okay, but other than that, it's a great summary of a pattern and irregularity of the development here. Thank you ค่ะ
Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ
ครับพิชยพงศ์ค่ะ
ครับผมได้ยินไหม
ค
ครั
รั
บบ
ได้ยินค่ะ
โอเคครับ Can you see my screen ครับ
Yes
สักครู่โอเคครับ Can I start
Yes please
Yes my pattern is solar energy. The first pattern is early state. It's before around 2000. Yeah. At first, solar energy was very expensive and not efficient. It was used mainly for sterile lithium research at small remote area. Fossil fuels were still dominant, so solar was not ready for daily life. And from pattern 1 to pattern 2, the factor that change. This change happened because people become more concerned about climate change, especially after the Kyoto Protocol. At the same time, large-scale production reduced cost and government start to support solar with subsidy and policy. And the second pattern, growth period, around 2000 to 2015. Solar energy become more affordable and more reliable. We start to see rooftop solar on a house and the first solar farm. Government in many developed countries support solar strongly, so it spread faster, but the goal was uneven. Developed countries move faster, while many developed ones still rely on fossil fuel. And from pattern 2 to pattern 3, the main factor were stronger international commitment like the Paris Agreement. New solar technology that improve efficiency and also the use of battery and smart grid. This factor made solar more practical and put it from being just an alternative to becoming a mainstream energy source. Yeah. And the last pattern 3, mass adoption. It from 2015 to present at now. Yeah. Solar has become one of the fastest growing renewable. We can see it everywhere on the rooftop, in large farm, and even as floating solar here. It now compete directly with fossil fuel. It now thought trend remain like unequal adoption and recycle all panel. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you ค่ะ พิชยพงษ์เนาะ
ครับ
so you have categorized them into the availability of the solar cell. First of all, you mentioned that it's only for like the satellite and research lab. I think it's a great way to categorize them as well. So we can see, oh, at the beginning, just the research and the development of a satellite that we have a research team to develop it. And then, okay, I think it's like parallel, okay, developed for satellite and also on land as well. And then we have more of a commercialized one later on. Okay. And
Yep.
regarding your chain within the same pattern though, for our class, the objective is like the development of the same, for example, before 2000, like during that time, is there any technology development for the solar cell? Let's say, for example, we could make only a tiny silicon solar cell, but then later on it has been developed to be a bigger one and can generate more electricity, something like that. Okay,
ครับ
so
ผม
your chain within the same pattern is a little bit off from the objective here. But I can see that, for example, you mentioned solar capacity increase worldwide. It's like expansion. It's like solar energy has been used in many places in the world. Okay, so this is meet the objective. Still,
โอเค
and then
ครับ
you mentioned, but for the third pattern though, you mentioned still has problem, can't produce at night in bad weather. Um, that's like continuous issue, right? Okay, so it's okay. Yeah, that to mention the continuous issue.
ครับ
Recycling, yeah, I forgot to think about that at all, like how we recycle the old panel. I have no idea. I have some idea about battery, but I have no idea about solar cell at all. So since you present this topic, yeah, maybe one day if you're still interested in it, you could read about it as well. Like I will as well. So overall, thank you very much ค่ะพิช
ค
ยา
รับ
พงษ์
ขอบคุณครับ
ครับ Okay. Let's continue to the next. Wariton ค่ะ Waste management นะ
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I will start. So first is the time of pattern is the ancient time to around 18. The pattern you can see is just a early disposal method, just waste just disposal on the hole or something. The characteristic is it's waste discard on the open pit or sometimes they just burn with no treatment at all. So and in the same pattern, in that time, First is a small village pit, and then it's improved to the larger urban dumping site, but still no treatment at all. The next pattern is a late 18th to the mid 19th centuries. So they have much better organized municipal waste management. They create a systematic collection by municipalities use of fast trucks or horse. They also create landfills and the first incinerators to burn trash. In the same pattern, from uncontrolled dump from the ancient time, they have a little sanitary landfill and basic incineration system. So from the first pattern to second pattern, the factor that create this is there is a industrial revolution, rapid urbanization, and public health concerns for many diseases that happened in that time. So they have to organize waste for the better of health concern of the people. And the last one is uh, time to present. Uh, now, just not only organized, but we use waste as a resource. We want to recycling combustion, and we also use waste as energy and the idea of circular economy. So, example from the no. So in this time, first we just have a recycle bin for management waste, but then right now we also have a smart waste system that we application of IoT or technology to the waste management, like a AI sorting bin. They also have solar cell attached in some bin. System we that they use is also the factory that can convert the waste to some of fertilizer for planting and from the pattern B2C is because the rise of environment awareness that now uh, environment resource is limited. We have to use it as little as possible and need to resource recovery. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Waliton. Um, we can see like the history of waste management in our world based on the early stage one and until like the one nowadays that we have so many technology and the people who working on the field, and I can see the importance of it very much. Like every day when I saw the people who come to collect the trash, I'm like, oh, they are like my angel. I think I imagine if like a week without them, oh, could be headache.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you very much for selecting this topic and then sharing with us your research and summary here. Thank you.
Thank you. Teachers.
Next will beสุภเริกษ์ค่ะ
Do you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Let's get started. And I show the pattern of the green energies. And the first one is wind energy. The wind energy, the first invent it from the ancient windmill. It doesn't generate the electricity directly, but is used for grinding grain or pumping the water. And the first electricity generating the turbine, it invented in late 19th century, and now it have like a wind farm on the shore or offshore. and the wind energy used white turbine to rotate and make mechanical energy and then convert to electricity. And the common trait is why wind can occur every day. It depends on speed, direction, like that. And the next one is solar energy. The solar energy use the technology about photovoltaic photovoltaic effect that invented in 1839, and the startup can make it first modern solar cell in 1954, and after 1970 of oil crisis, the solar cell can make a growth after that. And today, the efficiency of the panel about more than 70%. And they identify the pattern. Solar energy use a solar panel to convert the sunlight to make electricity. And sunlight can generate the power in daytime. It depends on intensity that vary on weather and season. And two of them, wind energy and solar energy, can install on the land. Solar energy can install on the like a desert in the China, something like that. And solar energy also install on the water, but wave energy must install in the water because like an ocean that make wave every time. And the wave energy, the first one that invent the like a election, and no, that make like a effect and it made in early tidal mills in 11th century, and in France in 1966 the modern tidal power plant that invented. And the the 20th century have like a experiment of wave that called OTC that it be project in
Oh,
20th century.
super lag, super lag.
ครับ
I would say don't have to lead the chain within the same pattern one. Yeah, I think I can lead it by myself. Okay. I think that is all for this one. Is okay. Is my so you separate them into a very big topic here. It's kind of difficult to like explain everything at the in one go. But it helps us to see as well like humans have been developed the energy in different various form. I would say in addition to different location, like install on the land, install on the water, it also like human want to harvest energy from different platform, different source as well. That's why we develop different type of energy. Yeah, different type of different resource for energy. Okay. And I'm not familiar with wave energy that much, but I appreciate that you also mentioned about it here. That human could use the wave to generate electricity as well. Okay. Overall, thank you ค่ะ super เลิศค่ะ
Thank you so much.
ครับลียาพลค่ะ
Yes, I'm here. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Should I share the slide now?
Yes, super เลิศ please stop share your screen.
I will be talking about the hydropower and the factor that led it to its evolution over time. Hydropower is a technology that harness the kinetic energy from water to perform a work. The core elements of this pattern are water, gravity, and a turning device. These have been remained constant throughout its history.
I have categorized into 3 periods here. The first one is before the Industrial Revolution, pre-18th century. This was the most direct use of the pattern. Harvest kinetic energy for specific tasks like drying grains, cutting lumber, and irrigation. The invention of more complex machinery and mass production were the main driver of the change. The boom of the Industrial Revolution demand a greater efficiency and which led to the next period of the hydropower, which is Industrial Revolution during the 18th to 19th century. The pattern evolved to a larger and more organized scale to power multiple machinery like a factory or a mine here. Water wheel were connected to more complex network using bell and pulley to drive things like loom, trip hammer, or even a hydraulic mine. The transition was driven by the invention of electric generator, which made it possible to convert the mechanical energy into electricity, allow for creation of energy that could be easily distributed over a long distance. So we are in here after the revolution. Today, hydropower is primarily used to generate electricity. This is seen in large-scale hydroelectricity power plant right here, and pump storage facility, or even smaller as well, like micro hydro turbine, water rotor, portable turbine. Yeah. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you
Okay.
for your attention.
Thank you, Kaliyapon. Here we can see a big picture and clear explanation on example of how it has been changed during the same pattern of it and see different images of application of it. So I think it's a great presentation. Thank you,ค่ะ.
Thank you, Cecile.
อนันต์สิทธิ์ค่ะ
ครับผมได้ยินไหมครับ
ได้ยินค่ะ
เห็นนะครับ
เห็นแล้วค่ะ
I choose hydropower. The pattern one, in ancient times, people used water wheels. They let water flow turn in the large wooden or stone wheels. That spinning motion create mechanical energy used for grinding grain and lifting water. People want to use natural energy instead of human and animal power. They notice flowing water could do useful work, so they create the water wheel. Later, people need more power, especially during the Industrial Revolution. So that pattern 2 will begin. The pattern 2 is water turbine is smaller and more powerful. They use fast-moving water to spin metal blades, which produce more energy, often for machine in factories. In invention factories and machine all need stronger continuous power. Stronger material like steel made better turbine possible. As city goes and technology advance, people need more than just mechanical power. They need electricity. So then they develop two paddle tree. The paddle tree is hydroelectric dams. Use the flow of water to spin turbines and create electricity. These systems are big, modern, and can power entire city. The world needs clean, large-scale electricity, and water gate source. Engineers use computers and advanced tools to control the process. That's all. Thank you.
โอเคค่ะ thank you ค่ะอนันต์จิตค่ะ let's see give me one moment here it helps us to see like the development of hydropower like the historic one and then the big dam nowadays that we have and you mentioned about environmental management yeah I try to think about example of it when you read about it have you like read some is there any example of environmental management that they mentioned about the dam
Not much.
Okay ค่ะ okay that's okay ค่ะ thank you ค่ะ
Thank you, teacher.
อัครวินค่ะอัครวิน
Okay. So today I will present about the pattern of the locomotive. I will criticize it into three areas. The first one is for the steam engine locomotive in early 19th century. As you know, it's used of steam engine by burning coal and wood to boil the water and use the pressure of the steam to drive the mechanical. Change in the time is maybe it's about only to develop the efficiency and the power for uh make it to support the longer distance and heavy duty. And the next one is about the diesel engine power locomotive. It's occur around early 20th century. It had two types that one is used the diesel engine to generate the electricity to feed the traction motor for drive the train, and another one is use the diesel engine mechanical to drive the hydraulic system. Change in the time is about only focus on enhance the efficiency and develop focus on the charging system changing driving system from diesel mechanical drive to diesel electric and what create new pattern from pattern A to pattern B is about because the economic growth and they have discovered about the fossil fuel, so it's more efficient and it more efficient and may useful than the using the steam and coal. And the last one is the electric traction motor locomotive that occur around the late 19th century. It used the electricity to drive the motor directly, but it have very supply source that is from it carries self-carry batteries or the overhead wire or the third rail. The change in this is about change the supply source from the overhead line or the third rail to rely on self-carry batteries. And the key that create this pattern is about because our society is more focused on the environmental impact and reduce carbon dioxide emission and also the uh, advanced engineering that we can make more storable battery, so we can make a battery, the bigger battery, so it can rely on itself and don't have to use outside power. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Karavin. Overall, it's a great way of organize and explain the development of the locomotive here. And I have a question here about the constant element for the third pattern. You mentioned
Yeah.
isolate motor directly driving the wheel with not depending on generator. Do you would you be able to explain this part here? It is difficult for me to understand.
Okay, so motor driving the wheel. So it means that the locomotive is depend on only on the motor, the traction motor to drive the wheel, because in the early it will use the diesel generator to create the electricity and then send the electricity to drive the motor. But for the third pattern, it's only use the store electricity, store power in the battery or from the overhead line. So the actuator that it have is only motor.
I understand now. Thank you very much. โอเคค่ะขอบคุณค่ะคารวินค่ะ Next is time ค่ะ
So what you crap? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second.
Oh, wave energy.
Energy. Okay. I haven't even had breakfast yet.
Oh, I am late. I am sorry.
I'm joking. I'm just kidding. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm talking about wave energy, not to be confused with tidal energy. This is specifically about waves and using the up and down movement of those waves to generate energy, as opposed to water running through turbines and stuff. But it started in 1910 when the first patent was made for a wave driven like power generator. And then after that, the first prototypes were made in the 1930s and then started getting used for power generation. So these are still quite new in terms of the power generation scene, but this first pattern is just the early starts of wave power generation. And so these generators were just using wave oscillations to generate power, where that wave would push air through a turbine, generating power, which is a common mechanism used in many of these patterns, but you can't really do much more than that. So a lot of them share this trait, but wave pushes air up and down through a turbine that generates power. And so that was simply the original design for a wave power generator. This did mean, though, since it was a bit early on, there was limited power output and the mechanism was still quite simple. But then after pressure from military uses, specifically naval uses, it got developed in the 1940s and 1960s to modernize this tech into something more useful, which is when they added better technology inside of these wave power generators, where they would be able to compress more air faster and harder through a turbine, which is connected to a small generator, which due to updated technologies, we're able to make more produce more power, and were slightly more reliable than the earlier versions of wave power generators. But then the 70s oil crisis pressured this to develop even further, where more research was put into wave energy, post 1960s into the 1970s, where a new design for a wave power generator was developed called the Salter's Duck, which I have a picture for on the next screen. Essentially, rotating paddles that are pushed up and down by waves, and that action creates power. And then we also have an upgraded version of the older wave power generators, where now they've been developed into oscillating columns as technology developed, and we were able to start attaching these generators to the sea floor for cheaper. And so, yeah, common traits for this one are still the fact that waves push air through the turbine, except this time the generators inside are a lot more powerful. And we also have the addition of the new design of Salter's Duck, which is now rotating paddles instead of a wind-powered power generator. So this is slightly more advanced. It's capable of producing a bit more energy and is, in some cases, a bit cheaper. And then as this got more funding and more people put research into wave energy production, it turned into what we have today, which is more commercial forms of wave energy power production. So it outputs more energy. They build more individual power generators in contained facilities anchored offshore. And so due to greater economic requirements and larger scale construction, these were able to be developed and researched as a means to meet higher demand for coal alternatives and also to protect the environment. But yeah, the generators themselves don't change too much besides new additions to what can generate wave power, wave energy. But as a whole, you have two main designs, which is the buoy, the system commonly used for buoys, floating buoys on the sea, which is like a floater. The wave will push the water and the air up through the gap in the center, which pushes air through a turbine, and that generates a bit of power. And then you have the Salter's Duck that I mentioned previously, where the waves would move these little paddles, and that would generate energy. And then the original design of pattern A developed into pattern C, where you can now anchor them to the bottom of the sea, and they use slightly more advanced technology. And then now we're looking into commercial scale production, but it's still not very effective. So yeah, that's a quick presentation on wave energy and how it's changed.
Thank you very much, Chang, for explain to us about the history of development of wave energy and mentioning that it's not the same as a tidal energy. And yeah, I appreciate it. And I am not familiar with it, but once I listened to your presentation, it helped me to visualize and also understand more about the mechanism of it. A note about the chain within the same pattern regarding our class though. Since you separate them into different the development of the wave energy, it could be difficult for you to explain the chain within the same pattern. For example, within like 1910 to 1930, for our class, the teaching team, they want like the development of the wave driven power, more like the development in the technology. But I understand that you mentioned the issue of it. Okay, the issue is that it still have some problem with it, like that. But I can see that you mentioned here slightly more advanced in mechanism capable of producing more energy. So this part is like meet the objective here. Yeah. And greater economic requirement, meaning that it help us to generate energy from the wave energy, like in addition to other type of resource that we have. So this still meet the objective here.
Okay.
Okay. And I like your visual slide of the mechanism of it very much, and I appreciate that you explained to us today. Thank you, Hatam.
Okay. How do I stop screen sharing?
Now you can have breakfast.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. พิตารีค่ะ
แป๊บนึงนะคะ
ค่ะ มัมบอกว่า lunch yes you're right mom
เห็นจอไหมคะ
มาแล้วค่ะ เดี๋ยวนะ before you start I would like to announce to everyone here, so since we have limited of time, please present only the identify pattern part and the factor creating new pattern. Okay, please start ค่ะ
My name is Chitari Pomin, and today I'm present about wind energy. So in the BC to the 18th, I will call it mechanical use of wind because it start from using the main driver to the boat and to wind to support human needs. The factor, in late 18th, its transition to electricity. It's still depends on blade catch wind convert to motor in another form of energy. The factor that create new pattern is people need wind use change from simple mechanical work to making electricity because people need more power and discovery electricity. In 1970, 2%. It's a large scale of renewable energy electricity. The wind continue to be primarily renewable source. Use rotor and turbine system across all the design scale from single device to network of turbines. The thing that create the new pattern because wind was in the 1970s, the oil crisis, a high full price and make people looking for other energy source, and the government want clean and renewable energy to reduce pollution and climate change. Yes, and it have a better technology and need for clean energy. Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you ค่ะ Titari. So you categorize them into using wind for like mechanical or like the moving of the boat like that. Okay. And then to the generating electricity. And my comment a little bit here, during the pattern of transition to electricity, there could be more example of like the development of the windmill to generate electricity here as well. But you include it in the large scale renewable electricity instead. Okay, I can see that part. And you mentioned about onshore and offshore, so we could have the windmill in different location. Okay. Okay. In addition to this, it could be about like different design of the windmill, because in your photo there are only one design but different location, right? So yeah, that's what I would be able to see that there are varieties of it. Okay, thank you ค่ะ
thank you ค่ะ
next will be ทิตาลีมี2 คนนะแต่สะกดไม่เหมือนกัน โอเคค่ะดีแล้วที่ไม่เหมือน อีกทิตาลีหนึ่งเข้ามาหรือยังนะอาจจะยังเนอะอาจจะต้องข้ามไปก่อนเนาะเป็นนัทนพินค่ะนัทนพินอยู่ไหม
สวัสดีค่ะ ได้ยินไหมคะ
อย่าได้ยินแล้วค่ะ
เดี๋ยวหนูขึ้นจอแป๊บหนึ่ง
ได้ค่ะ อันนี้นัทนพินเนาะโอเค
ใช่ค่ะนานาพิน เห็นไหมคะ
มาแล้วค่ะกำลังมา
โอ้
เบลแมสอืม
มีสไลด์แต่ว่าไม่ต้องไอ้นี่ใช่ไหมคะหรือว่า
อืมเอาของเราก็ได้ แล้วเดี๋ยวขอเวลาอาจารย์อยู่หน้านี้ด้วย
ได้
จะ
ค่ะ
เอาของ
มัน
เราก่อนก็ได้
เนื้อหา
อุตส่าห์เตรี
เนื้อหา
ยมมา
เดียวกันนะคะแต่ว่าหนู
ได้
เอาไปเฉ
ค่ะ
ยแต่ว่าอันนี้ให้เห็นเฉยได้ค่ะกดพรีเซนต์
อุตส่าห์เตรียมมาขอบคุณมากค่ะ
โอเคค่ะmy name is Nanapin Manbakosuk and today I'm going to talk about biomass evolution. Okay, so what is biomass? Basically, it's energy from renewable organic materials, such as like wood, animal, crops, and agricultural residues, and food waste and trash. So these things stores energy from the sun through photosynthesis, and when we convert it by burning or combustion, or through chemical processes, it produce energy for us. So like heat, electricity, or fuels. Yeah, and the first stage is the ancient times. So it's just directly burning raw organic matters like wood, crops, or animals in fire as a primary source for heat, cooking, and light source like normal stuff. Yeah, and it uses open air systems, simple and static, still no machines, but later they invent a clean, which can help them control the heat and reach higher temperatures, but still simple and yeah. The main problem is that it creates smoke and yeah, causes health and environmental problems. And it is also inefficient. Only little energy can be used because it's all burned and you cannot really maintain it. And next is stage 2. Oh, wait. It's industrial era, 17th to 19th century. Yeah, it's the invention of machines, which are sealed environment for processing organic waste in closed tank to make steam for engines and biogas. Like in stage 1, it's open air, and now it's in a sealed machine. Yeah, so making it more efficient to capture useful energy and containing heat, and also avoids pollution by capturing in pipes instead of open air. Yeah. And for the resources, it still uses biomass, but in a more processed form. Like in stage 1, we use like per wood, something like that, but now we use charcoal. That helps produce high pressure steam, converting them into motion to power machinery. Yeah, so charcoal is wood converted into a denser and hotter burning fuel. But then this is like the industrial era. So we shift from biomass charcoal to fossil fuels like coal and oil, as it supports the demand of growing industries like transportation, engines, and factories because they're fast and more controllable. Yeah, but the problem with charcoal is that raw wood charcoal wasn't energy dense enough to keep up with the demands of large engines and machines, so they changed to coal and oil. And yeah, because wood is not energy dense enough, there's crop supply conflict, like deforestation from overusing them. Yeah, and now in stage 3 modern technology, it focused on turning waste and renewable resources into clean, flexible energy, using advanced machine to replace fossil fuels and protect the environment. Yeah, so in modern days, we are more aware of climate change and pollution, something like that. So we try to use clean energy. Yeah. We solve it by replace fossil fuels with renewable biomass fuels. For example, agricultural leftovers, algae, food waste, and garbage instead of throwing them away. Yeah, so, and we also develop machines that maximizes efficiency on producing energy while raise concern about climate change and reduce greenhouse gases and air pollution. Yeah, and this is the example of the machines that help reduce pollution and also captures more energy. Yeah, something like that. That's all.
Thank you very much ค่ะนัทนพิน เนอะ I impressed by your preparation and your summarize into category like problem, like solve, how we solve it, and also explain even definition for charcoal for anyone who are not familiar with it. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that you'll be able to share with your classmate. Although we have only like 8 people in the group here, but I feel they will see your great view to present to them in a clear manner and a professional presentation way. Okay. And let me take a look at the detail here a little bit, okay, before I let you go, okay?
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. It's a great summary regarding the chain within the same pattern as well. Like, for example, what we use and then why something is not enough for us, and including the machine development. Okay. Mm. Thank you very much ค่ะนันทพิน ค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ Okay, next will be ทิตาลี เข้ามาหรือยังเอ่ย ทิตาลี ศรีประเสริฐ ค่ะ ไม่เป็นไร อาจารย์ข้ามไปก่อนแล้วกันเนาะพิชนันท์ ค่ะ
สักครู่นะคะ
ค่ะ
หาภาพขึ้นไหมคะ
มาแล้วค่ะ
Today I'm gonna present about pattern and irregularity of wind energy. In 5000 before Christ, wind energy was used in transportation and used as labor-saving device instead of human to paddle the boat. In 580 to early 1800, the wind energy was used in agriculture, using as a labor serving to replace human and livestock labor. And for the late 1800 to present, the wind energy was used to generate electricity and used to replace non-renewable energy sources like fossil fuel and coal. What created a new pattern from 5000 before Christ to 500 AD? The primary purpose of wind energy has shifted from solely using it for transportation to using it for agriculture, and from 500 AD to late 1800, the primary purpose of wind energy has shifted from agriculture used to generating the electricity, providing an environmentally friendly alternative energy source, reducing to use the non-renewable energy source.
Okay, that's it, right? Okay. ค่ะ thank you ค่ะพิชนันเนาะ let me look through the detail here a little bit ค่ะปึ๊บ simple ancient image อืมอืม okay generate wind energy from high-tech wind turbine Persian ancient Persian อืม อืม okay my comment would be about for example pattern 3 right so you have photos of like the windmill on the land and also in the on the ocean like that and then you mention the chain within the same pattern it help convert wind you mentioned about the mechanism of it okay and increase the technology but I do wish to give example of like what kind of development it is like maybe like different type of the fan blade or something like that uh would be more example here but other than that I think it's help us to see the development of how human use wind for making energy for our world like that okay overall it's great ค่ะ thank you ค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
อาจารย์แนะนำนิดนึงเดี๋ยวนะอาจารย์บันทึกแล้วอืม
Hello, I'm Patra. Today I will present on biomass technology. In earlier state before Christ to 18th century, people used to burning biomass directly for heat by using firewood crop residues. Over time, they changed various materials to find an efficient resource to burn and create energy, as coal produce more heat than firewood. They use energy for more different purposes, for example, from cooking to agriculture. Then the next stage in 18,000 to 19th century, the invention and development begins of the internal combustion engine. At first, it's run on ethanol, turpentine, then developed to ethyl alcohol, and the gas mainly use of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide. Then the use of turbocharging improved a machine performance, allowing it to run faster and travel farther. Also, the pollution control system introduced in this era. Um, in modern day 2000 century to present, biomass is transformed into cleaner engine-ready fuels through a process called esterification. So this biofuel produced from renewable resources such as vegetable oils, animal fats, or used cooking oils. And it starts from first generation that's called food-based biomass to use second non-food biomass, then alcohol biomass, and carbon neutral sustainable energy. This aims greater sustainability, reducing toxic particulates. So as we can see across this stage, from pattern A to B, the evolution began with the direct use of biomass for basic survival. And later, engines developed through chemical reactions and mechanical process. It became more efficient and can be for specific application. And from pattern B to pattern C, we generating energy from waste and eco-friendly resource while enhancing fuel efficiency. So when burned, pure fuel generally produce fewer emission than the earlier biomass. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your presentation ค่ะ Virapatra. I like that you make an additional slide to summarize about the recurrence and then the chain within the same pattern to make us see the clearer picture of it. And then you provide later on the detail of the analysis of pattern and irregularity, and it helps us to see the development of this technology and application for the biomass management and utilization. Thank you so much ค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะคุณ
ค่ะ next before I move on to Salin, is Titari here? No, right? Let me give me one moment to type in the group chat. Okay. Salin, please prepare to share your slides ค่ะ Is Salin here? Okay, I see your slide now. Wind energy, right?
สวัสดีค่ะ ได้ยินไหมคะ
ได้ยินค่ะ
เอ่อหนู
เดี๋ยว
พูด
เปิด
เลย
เป็น
ใช่ไหม
presentation mode นะ เปิดเป็น presentation mode ใหญ่ๆ เปิดเป็นหน้าตารางไว้ก็ได้ค่ะ
มันมีซูมเข้ามาไหมคะ
ไม่เป็นไรเดี๋ยวอาจารย์ซูมเอง แต่ว่าเปิดหน้าตารางไว้ก็ได้ค่ะ
หน้านี้เหรอคะ
เดี๋ยวนะรอก่อนนะ หน้าที่เป็นตารางมีตัวอักษร โอเค หน้านี้ค่ะ โอเค แล้วก็
โด
เริ่ม
น
present
บัง
ได้
ไหมคะ
ไม่บังค่ะ อาจารย์เห็นครบเลย
โอเคค่ะ ค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ สรินหาพานิชค่ะ Today I'm going to present about wind energy. In BC to early history, people used windmill for splitting grain into flour, used for pumping water for agriculture. Windmill in this time pattern it made from bed and wood or fabric stretched over a frame. Chain within the same pattern. There were many designs. The traditional windmill of ancient Persia, which had a vertical exit, would capture wind on only one side of the blade, while the other side resists the wind, causing significant energy loss later in Europe. The design shift to horizontal exit, which allow either the whole structure or just the cap to rotate, so the blade could always face the wind. In 18th to 19th century, the pattern is a mechanical windmill. Additional applications were introduced, such as splitting grain, extracting oil, sawing wood, and pumping large scale of water source. The change with the same pattern. The construction material also evolve, shifting to a combination of wood and stone by the 18th to 19th century. Metal blades were introduced to enhance durability, making windmill more suitable for water pumping purpose. And in 20th century to present, the pattern is modern wind turbine. Wind power has begun to generate electrically, ranging from small-scale household use to large wind power plant and in a major industrial facility. It is a form of renewable energy that produce no greenhouse gas emission during electrically generation, and since it relies on wind, it is an en- inexhaustible source of energy. Change within the same pattern.
Celine, please, that part doesn't need to present, okay? Because we have limit of time, okay? Let me see here. I think categorize them into these three patterns help us to see like the development of the windmill here. I have a comment though. The modern wind turbine, you have two photos here, but the second photo, I would say it more like a landmark. It might not represent the modern wind turbine. I would say it's like a เหมือนไว้โชว์เนาะว่าอันเนี้ยมาเที่ยวได้อะไรเงี้ยแต่อาจจะไม่ได้เป็นอันที่ถือว่าเป็นอันใหม่เนาะค่ะ
โอเค
ตอนนี้
ค่ะ
another suggestion regarding presentation when there are many information like this try to summarize it in the English that as simple as you can understand when you
โอ
present
เคค่ะ
you will be more confident because some word is too difficult even me I'm rarely hear it this word that I rarely use it อาจารย์แทบไม่ค่อยได้ใช้เลยบางคำเนาะคือเราเอาคำที่เราเข้าใจดีกว่าอันนี้คำแนะนำอาจารย์เนาะ
ได้
ค่ะ
ค่ะ
โอเคขอบคุณค่ะ
ค่ะ
next is Titali is here is Titali here no okay no that's fine Wai Yan Mo
Yes. Hello.
Hi
Hi. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And I
Oh, okay.
apologize that I am late. Well, so yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
no, no, no. I'll do that.
Mm.
I'll share my screen. Oh.
Oh, biomass. Okay. Oh, our class, many people like to do the biomass topic compared to other section. Mm. Yeah.
Like to introduce about biomass energy, and my name is Waymo, and
Mo,
I think
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Please make it a
oh,
presentation mode. Yeah.
oh,
Right now, it's not like a full screen yet.
is it full screen now?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to introduce about biomass energy, and biomass energy is an energy produced like heat or electricity by burning organic material that comes from either plants or animals. So for instance, the energy the biomass energy way to create is like creates a very powerful power use of natural materials like plants, woods, and even sometimes like waste of animals or waste of plants. And imagine like for instance, uh you have leftover wood from a tree or a food scrap instead of like throwing them away you can just burn it and process the energy of the cycles as you can see from the initial image here. So you grow it, you cut it down, then you use it, and you burn it again, and it's gonna go cycle by cycle. So it will waste nothing, to be honest, like an infinite cycle of energy. So these are the patterns that I have written. The time of the pattern will be emerged as around like Asian times, which is like it's not really specific in Wikipedia or like I searched it, but we don't really know the time what it's gonna be. But we do know the fact that they use wood for the very first time as a material for using for cooking and like warm it up at home. So more basically like small kind of stuff. And sometimes they use like crops, wasted crops to burn for their food. And the changes are not really that different. Like they just cook and heat it up things. That's all. So yeah, and they also use like animal waste for like fertilizing. So at that time, they didn't even know what their the biomass system was like developing. They just do what necessary the life is. So by the time it's like 1750s or like 1850s, so they started to develop, as you can see here, this could be olive tree, and this is the whale. So they use animal oils to refurbish from the sperm whale oil to take their fat out and use it as a fertilizer or maybe something as a for machinery. And for olive oil, it's the same thing. So as a identity pattern, it's like they use trees, olive trees, and wood animals, and they still haven't changed yet. At that time, it's still the same thing as before. So they will be like crops and like cooking, heating, and animal waste. They still use them. But what changes is that at that era they started developing new technologies such as like industry. The first industry was like it will be a sewing machine industry. I didn't have an image though, but it will be a sewing industry. It started by using these oils and like olive oil, but most of them will be like hunted down by animal oil. So yeah, and probably and moving on to 1850, 1850 to 1910, like probably like that's where the fossil fuel was kind of invented. So like when you see from here, these machines have been developed, pumped to 40,000 or like probably like 30,000 beneath the earth to get a oil. So they pump oil to get that. And they use like coal to use it. So the fossil fuel has three ways of using it. They have coal, they have this pumping oil from beneath the earth called petroleum using, and other one is the natural gas. So natural gas is more like you can get it in deep oceans. So they extract natural gas from the deep ocean, just like the same as the pumping iron, just like a petroleum. And they did the same thing, like renewal for crops, cooking, and heating animal waste. They still use that, but what changes is like the fossil fuel. So it changes a lot. So it kind of mostly, for me, what I think is like they kind of mostly replace a biomass system by manufacturing steels and all that biomass system, and they lose their tackle time by not how can I say, most likely biomass system is like they refurbish it, they recycle it, but this fossil fuel kind of not renew it, and like they keep developing waste and waste, a lot of pollution. So it kind of affects the B to D. It kind of affects a lot of global warming and major risks that they didn't know about it. And like yeah, it's that kind of like endangerment to the environment. So oh sorry. Oh, so by the time it's like 1970s, people started to develop like what could be a really good way to like to reinvent without using fossil fuel. So they started to develop like the kind of method. It's kind of pretty cool that they use sugar cane, corn, or sometimes like crops and sometimes crops or and like the last one was like agricultural waste. It's really smart that they use our own waste and develop it into a new method of ethanol method. Around like 2000, they invented like the ethanol method, which is like you can see from here something like this. It can be sugarcane, corn. The starch can be like different methods. Is it like cotton starch? There's like so many plants that will there. So they fabricate like every juice and go to the industry. And also like cellulose. Cellulose is like all kind of wastes. Like it can be like wood waste, a wool or a cotton that goes anything to waste that has to do with waste, even like human waste, even like animal waste. So they will go to a company and they refurbish again by using this method without even using the fossil fuel. at all. So what happens in C and D is it reduce fossil fuel, utilize the waste material, and return like the new version of renewable method has returned. So something like that. It's a very smart way, and they cycle back again like this, without even like affecting the global one. It's really smart. And here are the diagram. I think so for I think these are the reference you can see. And I think thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mo. Yeah, I enjoy your presentation on yeah, you present, so you categorize them into like 4 patterns, and it help us to see like the development of it. And I can see that you like find the information and then you summarize by yourself and then you explain in detail about it. So I enjoy it.
I
So
was worried about the percentage because I was going really, really big, very generalized. So I was just worried. I
but
thought
yeah,
I was doing
I have some background on chemical engineer, so it helped me to understand your topic. Yeah.
Oh.
But in
But I
general,
also sorry,
mm.
I also didn't include the 2021 method that in Malaysia they have this developing a new method of better than a biomass method. I don't really know it because I don't know because it was confidential. So it was
So it's
confidential.
like
So I
proposal,
couldn't,
right? It's like
yeah,
proposal that they plan. It's
proposal.
okay.
I couldn't get into the website. They shut me down. So,
Mhm.
but thank you so much for it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank
Next will be Pio. Is Wai Yan
Yes.
Pio? Yeah, you're here.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
A
yes.
big cat.
Okay.
You're a big cat.
Okay. Sorry. All right, let me share screen.
27. Wind energy.
Are you seeing the picture?
Okay.
The full screen? Hello?
Yes, I can see it. Sorry.
Got it. Okay, I am Joe. And my pattern I choose is a vertical axis wind turbine. So I'll be like focusing mainly on the timeline shifted and the evolution, depending on the shape and the wind turbine. Okay, all right. Today I'll guide you through my best to find the evolution of the wind turbines from their earliest forms to the advanced system we see today. So we can explore how their patterns change over time and what remain consistent and the key factors that shape this transformation. Now, the story is like around in like 500 or 980. There's like 1,000 years ago, they started with like a first windmill. You see the picture in like Persia or a later Europe, around in the Middle East. So these information spreads and they become famous while using these patterns. So their main function was only these early machines where their function was only to use a simple vertical or horizontal axis to grind the grain and pump water. That was the only main function. That's nothing to do, and it's very popular until the 900th century. And the materials were made of wood, cloth, and stone, simple and local, and then most basically like entirely mechanical. So the Great Shift was like crazy. That was like a crazy shift, which is like around in the late 18th century. I suppose I remember around 1887, bunch of dudes like scientists kind of invented a source of energy relating to a wind turbine. This was like a huge shift between the pattern you can see. So they invent like small scale turbines, often with many blades, more power. So they power the rural homes and farms before the widespread grid system existed, And here we see the first pronunciations. We see the first irregularity. Sorry, yes, sorry. The first irregularity was example like a new purpose was invented and a new materials like steel and primitive control system. So these blades were like these towerings were short and the energy output was small, about 10 to 100 kilowatts. So there was another leap again in the modern times. So I call this a patent C around here. And the changes is from the local to a global market and a higher power generation. They are massive with 3 aerodynamic blades, round about purchasing 2 to 15 megawatts each. So they rise over 200-meter tall, often far offshore, and are connected to global energy grids. So what causes this grid was huge, which is like advanced materials like carbon fiber, better power electronics, and government support, and the urgent need for renewable energy. And throughout, we see the changes within the same patterns. We have like these benefits that go through all these things, developing until these times. Even though they have these techniques, the talents, the tools to invent them and make it better within the energy core. Even all these changes, some things stay like the same. So you can see like using wind as the main power, putting blades on a tall towering, and turning that movement into a usable energy. We see all that pattern throughout our course of history. This is the same pattern that you can see. So from A to B, from the factors driving the change, I think it was the invention of electricity generation in rural needs. That was a big thing from A to B. And from B to C, I think they try to improve a huge amount of power efficiency and having a international investment to a world global market to collaborate to be able to accept a innovation. And they try to push the global push for a cleaner energy. That's what they were basically trying to do from B to C. And in short, I think wind turbines evolved from simple local machine to a complex global power source, which is pretty cool. Their history is like one of the recurring principles, and with a bold shift within 900 to 18th century was a huge one. That was amazing. Yeah, I think this is thank you, I guess, for your attention. I think may the wind continue to power our future.
Okay. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, thank you very much.
A great presentation on like the windmill development until it's become like a wind turbine generate electricity.
Yes.
And
Actually, there was like this particular thing was invented like way before that. I didn't put it anymore because it was made for like an instrument around in the Alexandria age. There was like one inventor. He tried to invent with this kind of a shape, and he turns it into a instrument. And at that time, they didn't realize there wasn't electricity or anything. I think this shape coming from that, the Middle Eastern adapt throughout the course from here. That's what I assume on the history.
human study and effort is like amaze me as well. Like
yes.
Although we are not accomplished it yet, but I mean we kind of know that it is possible somehow, but we may have limit technology at that time.
I think they narrowed down to a simple form, and I think they might shift huge shift again around in the 19th century. Who knows what can this guy can do? And they are like inventing AI to present not even power, but like controlling more like nuclear power or solar power. I'm not sure. They're still inventing. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Well, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, next will be ทิตาลีเข้ามายังคะทิตาลียังเนอะโอเค
Bon
แบบ
Dieu.
เอ่อนันนพัฒน์ค่ะ
ได้ยินไหมคะ
ได้ยินแล้วค่ะนันนพัฒน์นะโอเคอ่าโอเค water turbine water
ไป
wind water mill ใช่ไหม โอเค
Okay, good afternoon, sir. And today, my name, you can call me Nana. And today, I will going to present about the hydropower, a pattern of the time energy from about the hydropower. So the first pattern of the energy is become in 2000 before Christ, and before 2000 before Christ we use the water wheel. Most of farmer using the water wheel for the farming, water farm or mechanical work, and it's helping it can helping a lot. But but after the time has passed, they will see about the problem about like low officially limit of location, large of infect in the site or difficult manage. So after that they decided to uh develop or change something to make it be better. And in 18th to 19th century, they get a water electric water wheel. And in this part is better than the water wheel before. It have more power and it have more power. Hydropower began to be used in electric, and but after use all of the and they can change hydropower to they're powerful than water wheel, and they can change hydrowater to become an electric power. But it's have a anyway it's have a limit power too, and they use a high construct cost. And they use a really high construct cost and depending on water source. So in the patency in the later of 2000 and in the present, we use the electric technology dam because and in this pattern we will see about the is a give me a minute. They have to thinking about the about the environmental friendly technology more than before, so they decided to focus on sustainable about the environment friendly too, and is better and is better than a water wheel electric because it's it can control waterfall and it can develop into a commercial electric system, and it can be shown in another pattern by maybe it can be used less power or it can be developed to make it be better, I think like that. So thank you for listening.
โอเคค่ะ thank you ค่ะนันนพัฒน์ let me take a look here. Overall, you have categorized them into these three patterns. It's help us to see the history of the water wheel and become like a the dam, like to generate electricity from water, like hydropower and energy. My comment would be like, for example, the chain within the same pattern. Our class, we focus on like the development of, in this case, is water wheel, the first one until the latest one in the same pattern. What are the development? But here you mentioned about like low efficiency and difficult to maintenance, for example. But you didn't mention about like, is there any change? For example, at the beginning we build a small one, and then we be able to build a bigger one that can carry water from the river to some place for us to do.
excuse me อาจารย์เมื่อกี้นี้เสียงมันหายค่ะ
ค่ะ disconnect เนอะokay. Yeah, I gonna give example. For example, the earliest water wheel, it could be the small one, and then we just see the movement of it. But then later on, human be able to develop the one with let's say a bucket to carry water from river and up and move it up to the land and do for like for the watering plant or something. So our class, we focus more on like to explain the development of the water wheel in pattern historic to the 20 and 2000 before Christ, like that. Yeah. So your explanation a little bit off here regarding the chain within the same pattern. But I can see that you mentioned in, for example, it can use less power for power to use. So this one is closer to the objective that we want student in our class to explain. Okay. Regarding the chain within the same, regarding the factor creating new pattern, they can change. So you wanna tell that human be able to generate, human be able to make tools to use water energy and create, connect, let's say connect with a motor from it, water moving flow energy to like to make electricity. Okay, I understand this part here. Yeah, overall, I can see the big picture of the development. Yeah, but that's some of my comment here ค่ะ Okay ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Namo, you could start share the screen, but before you present, give me a couple minutes, okay?
Okay.
Um, okay ค่ะ I'm ready.เริ่มได้เลยค่ะ You could start.
ผมปิดไมค์อยู่ครับเมื่อกี้เริ่มไปแล้ว
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's do it all again. Hi, my name is Mario, and today I'm going to present about solar energy. And it all started before the 1800s. It's the Greeks, Roman, ancient time, where they would use the lens to capture the light. Like you can do that at home to heat, start a fire. and cook some food or maybe warm up some water. And then later, in the early 1800s, they used the this thing to warm, to capture sunlight and warm the water to create like a thermal power. And yeah, it can catches sun rays with mirror and start fire, but it doesn't generate much energy, not enough to do crazy stuff. And then in the 1900s, uh, the scientists start to create like a water heater that powered by the solar energy. And yeah, it's better, but it's not enough to like power stuff. But yeah, still the same method, capture like the sunlight to transfer it into like a thermal, like a steam power energy. Yeah. And at a time during 1900s, the cost of making solar cells are very expensive. And yeah, then later in the modern time, they made there's so many kinds of like solar uses, like a solar farm, even solar in your calculator, and they're everywhere. And yeah, the costs are cheaper and can produce more power. And yeah, more people use it in daily life. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Mario. I like that you start like with the very beginning of how we use light for energy. Yeah, and then you later on you mentioned about application that nowadays we use this for our daily life. Yeah. And my comment a little bit regarding the chain within the same pattern. Yeah, you like summarize like in a concise way. But yeah, for
Yeah.
this class, sometimes we want more explanation of like each of it. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
only my comment here. For example, you mentioned size of the cell. So this one I understand you mean depend on the application. Some application we need small, some application we need a bigger one. Cost in the market, this one can be reduced probably by mass production. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think in that case. Okay.
More context in the slide. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, more what?
Oh, more context. Maybe I wrote too little. Yeah.
Okay. But other than that, it's a great summary and you explain the overall factor integrated into new pattern. Okay, you explain like the key of it, yeah, already. So
Yeah.
thank you, Mario.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go eat my breakfast now.
Oh,
I haven't eaten.
lunch.
I've been listening to all the presentation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Any, I think that's all. I just gonna ask you any thought that you want to tell me too, like since
Well,
all of them.
the first one was I really like the very first person who present
Oh.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's like goes through all the format that you did, and yeah, she did it really well.
Yeah, I think Bill probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Mass. Me too. I so impressed.
Well, I didn't know that I could go out and come back. Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. Okay. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much for your time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you.